Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Troll Talk podcast. It's been a couple of weeks, had to take a little break, but now we are back. And today's guest, it's a first. We have a retired streamer that goes by
I'm
the name
old.
of Dugnutt. How are you, buddy?
I'm retired. I'm old. I'm
You
good.
are
I'm
old.
good. I was gonna think of a way to like ruin the intro, and then you'd have to edit it. But then
Oh, I wouldn't have edited it. I would have just kept it in first shot. That's it.
great.
But for people that might not know who you are and what you do because you haven't been on the internet in a month, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm the Dugnut, or I guess the streamer formerly known as the Dugnut. I did the whole variety thing, and then I stopped streaming. I streamed for about 2.5 years, doing all sorts of random stuff, and then I stopped streaming last month. And I've
Yep.
now just been working and living my life, and it's been pretty great. So
That's
I don't know. I mean, we could get more into me, but that's kind of the gist of it. I'm trying to just be a normal dude now.
I mean, we are going to be talking about you and like your history of streaming and stuff like that because this podcast is a little bit more unique, as I mentioned to you, because every other guest that I've had on throughout like the 60 plus episodes of this have all been current today streamers. And I think like every single one but 3 of them are still streaming to this day. But
Every single one but 3 of them. Oh, okay. So like they're all still going.
Yeah, they're all still going.
For a second, I did the reverse of that, where it's like only 3 of them
Only
are
3.
left.
Yeah,
it's the podcast curse. They come on and they retire immediately after.
And I don't blame them for it because I just ruined their whole career with this
It'd
podcast.
be wild if I came on, retired, and then started streaming because of the, like the reverse.
Why are
curse
you
that
ruining
doesn't
my
exist.
plan here? Because
Sorry,
I'm trying to
yeah.
pull you back in. But you aren't a streamer anymore, as you've mentioned. You have been done a month and a day from like.
Is that exactly what it is?
You ended July 23rd, 2023, and it is August 24th, 2023.
Crazy.
A month and a day. I tried to get you
and
to the month, but timing didn't work out as well as I wanted it to.
We missed it.
But I want to get back, or I want to get into like the retirement and everything more at the end, because I feel like that's kind of what we should end on, like your future. But to kind of just kickstart it, to get the elephant out of the room, how have you been and how are you feeling now that you've stepped away from the streaming world?
Oh, dude, it's like night and day. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel great. Like, I mean, maybe it's because I think, I don't know. We can get into this a bit, but like my streaming journey, like I started out streaming almost like full time, or
Yep.
I wasn't working when I started streaming. And then about in like October of last year, I started working like a 9 to 5 job, which is great. But then I was doing, you work and stream, so you know how it is. Like you come back and and I was streaming on the
Straight
weekend.
up
Yeah, exactly. Like you either finish work and then you go live, or you go home and you sleep, right?
Yep.
And so it was like, so for my schedule used to be, I would stream, or I would work 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, and then Friday after work I would stream, and then Saturday and Sunday I would stream during the day. But then what happened was that like I basically had no free time, because all of my free time was like, during the evening on the weekend, and I don't know, like, or just in the evenings, and anytime I wanted to do anything during the day or go outside, I basically couldn't, because I was at work or I was streaming. So I've been going outside a lot more, and that's been really good for like the old mental health. And I've just been kind of taking the time to do things for me.
That's good.
Like, yeah, like I think like with streaming, there's like this whole I don't know if you have it, but like I had this whole like anytime I did something that wasn't stream related, I had this voice in the back of my head that was like nagging me to do something that kept me kind of like relevant, or at least like in the front of people's minds to some degree, so that I didn't just like completely fall off.
Yeah,
with
friends.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden you just got that little voice, or it's just like, you need to post on Twitter, or you need to post on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like,
well, because we established I'm terrible at Twitter as well, so and TikTok. So it's like, so I'm like, I should post in my Discord, or I should do something, or it's like, or pop into a stream or something. And now it's like, no, like
you just don't care for it.
I'm just like, I'll do it on my own time when I want to. Right?
Of course.
Like I don't feel the need to be on Twitch all the time now, which has been much better for my mental health, I think.
That nagging voice is very real amongst, I think, pretty much every single streamer, whether you've made yourself established or not. There's constantly that growth factor that we almost get attached to. And now that you've stepped away from it, I feel like that little voice has been gone. That pressure on your shoulders has been gone, because you were somebody that was like almost revolutionizing certain categories, and putting high effort content out there instead of just sitting there and gaming on your ass all the time, right?
I don't know if I was revolutionizing. I think that's very nice of you to say, but I think I was like trying to do, I was trying to do high effort stuff, I think was the thing, which is I appreciate you saying that. But like, I think like, yeah, like when you're, I don't know. I think I kind of came at streaming from a very like YouTuber side of it, where I wanted to be like, it was almost like every stream had a hook, so to
Yeah.
speak. And when every stream has a hook, that kind of becomes tiring to like, you're constantly trying to figure out, okay, what's the hook for this streamer? How can I engage people this way? And sometimes I would just play like a Zelda game or something, like especially near the end when I started getting a bit burnt out. But I didn't like that. I liked creating the like event, so to speak, but yeah, it's tiring. Like I think it's like I've been talking about a little bit. It's like when you plan a party, right? And you're like, you don't know who's going to show up, but you put all this work into planning the party, and it's kind of the same with Twitch, right? It was like every week I was planning like a party or multiple parties, and I just had no idea who was going to show up. And sometimes it's fun because like everybody shows up, and sometimes nobody shows up, and then you just have to try and make it fun. Like it's like, it's like, oh, okay, but there's a stress that comes with that.
Oh, of course.
Just like incredibly stressful. So,
and that's one of the things too, like as a streamer and like as and new, it's that party aspect. For example, you constantly have it as you have to be the entertainment in the room, whether there's 2 people or 30 people or 100 people. You are the sole focus in that room, and you have to be the entertainment factor. When there's 100 people reacting to you, it's bouncing the energy. But if there's 2 people, that's like
you're doing a lot of lifting.
It's like
it's
a silent clap. Like that's really it. It is really hard to keep the energy high to entertain the 2 voices over the 100 and vice versa. And
even if you have like 20 or 30 people in your chat, let's say, or something, right? Like all of them could be like lurking, or like they might just not be chatters. They might be watching, but they're just not really like, so there's a certain kind of person who is like, yeah, I'm gonna like throw some keck W's in when I find something funny. And then the people who just sit there and quietly laugh to themselves, right? And so it's like, but when you have the people who are sitting there quietly laughing to themselves, you don't get a response through, because you can't see them, so you don't actually know if you're hitting or missing. It's just kind of like you're like, well, I don't know, it's funny to me, I guess I'll just keep going with it. And that's I mean, you can't think about it too much because otherwise you'll just go crazy. But
if you get attached to the numbers, then it becomes a downward spiral very quickly mentally. Is that whiskey or chocolate milk? I can't tell.
It's iced tea.
Iced tea?
Yeah, it's just iced tea.
I'm sorry, I had a flashback of chocolate milk there because of the power hour with Spoogs. That scared me.
How was that?
Oh, I died, man. But I think I was the only one who didn't actually release any of it in any method, if that makes sense. Yeah, 2 people threw up and 3 people almost shit themselves, and I was fine.
During?
Or
after?
Spoogs threw up during.
Oh.
Steve threw up after. No, he didn't throw up after. I think somebody else threw up after, and then everybody else almost shit themselves.
Yeah, that's a lot of chocolate milk.
Oh, yeah, like 2 liters of it.
Dairy's heavy. Like, that's not easy. Like, I can only do so much, but I couldn't do 2 liters of chocolate milk.
Oh, it sucked. I think I broke past the mental barrier at like 42, 43, where it was just like, you should stop. Your stomach's starting to hurt a bit. And then I just stood up. Everything went, like, just shot straight down in my stomach. I sat down. I'm like, I feel so much better. I feel like there's like a whole second
you said
stomach
shift
now.
It around a little bit.
Yeah, because I'm just sitting there. It's all building up and everything. But
sometimes it's gotta wiggle around a little bit.
Shift it down a little bit.
Crevices and
but
or just let it bore a new hole through your stomach, and then it just goes to your leg or something. You're like, great, good to go.
I mean,
that's how it works.
It almost did that with Spoogs, and that was funny because he had to add fish sauce to every single every single chocolate milk shot. He had to add fish
sauce.
Yep.
Why?
It was for every sub, and I might have been an instigator, and I think he only had 2 shots that didn't have fish sauce in them.
Oh,
so
that sucks. Yeah, I would throw up too if that was happening to me.
It was great.
That's like adding oil to your already like kind of. I almost call milk oily, but it's not. It's just like frothy, and it is smooth. Like it does have like a silky quality to it,
And the worst part is
really
like
just lubing your insides.
The high protein milk that I grabbed with low sugar made my mouth dry on the first shot.
Yeah, that was a good call.
Yeah,
that was a real solid call on your part there.
But other than that, crazy. 4 of us beat it, which was great. But I want to jump back into the conversation about you retiring after.
Yes.
But I feel like let's talk about the past. way back in the past. Now, you kind of already answered this first question for me, but I want to talk about the industry that you worked in, which was film and TV.
Yeah.
Are you still in that, or is that the job that you started late October?
No. So okay. So I started in film and TV. Well, that was like, I don't know. I mean, I had jobs before that, obviously, but my first like career was in film and TV. So I was doing like practical effects, like on-set special effects.
Yeah.
So all the like rain, smoke, fire, explosions, did I say snow? Snow, like wind, that stuff, like that's all
Okay.
us, right? So so I did that for about 6 or 7 years, I think.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I did it for a while. I started when I was like 20, I think like my early 20s, like 20 or 21 or something.
Doug, are you like 30?
I'm 29. I'm
What
30
the
in
fuck?
January. Yeah, yeah.
You look 18.
I know, I'm youthful. I got a nice youthful complexion.
Okay, Jennifer Aniston, relax.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna age gracefully, or just like a train wreck.
It's just gonna hit you at 32.
30. All my hair drops and
Yep.
falls out of my head, and that's
You're going
it.
bald.
Yeah.
You're getting a grizzly beard that's all gray.
That's right. You know, I'll take it. I could rock the bald gray beard look. I think that'd be cool.
I think so.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, so I worked in film, and then in August of last year, I moved to Montreal from Toronto. So and I also speak French.
Close to me?
Yeah, I was like right downtown. I was at Yonge and Eglinton in Toronto. So
that's not downtown. Relax. You're near a Cineplex. Relax. I went to that theater all the fucking time.
Young Line. It's on the Young Line. I did too, though. I would go there on the weekends and just like catch a movie. It's great.
Oh, I never knew you were that fucking close, man.
Yeah.
Damn
like when we went to SariCon, it was like it was like a 10-minute subway ride down.
Just hop on line 1, just straight down.
Yeah, and that was it. Yeah, it was great. So, but yeah, so I was working in Toronto, working in film. And then during the pandemic, my girlfriend and I moved to Montreal because she was doing her master's. And that's when I started streaming. So I was taking a year off of film to do the whole, to figure out what I want to do. Because I was getting really burnt out with film. Because I don't know if you know like what the schedule's like. But for anyone who doesn't know, basically like film, you usually work a minimum of 12 hours a day. So the way it works is like on a Monday, you'll start at 7 a.m. And you're like shooting will like your call time will be 7 a.m. You'll probably start shooting at like 8 or 9. And then you'll go until for 12 hours, not including lunch. So you'll shoot until like 8 or 9 p.m. And then you're required a 10-hour turnaround, like legally, because of the union. You need a 10-hour turnaround. So that's like you from when you wrap, you have 10 hours to get home, go to sleep, and then you'll be back at work. But the thing is like with film is that if you don't get everything you need to shoot, you just keep going until you get it because of the schedule. So hi Raiders, welcome on in.
Hi, thanks for the rating.
Usually your 10-hour or your 12-hour day is actually like a 14 or 16-hour day. So what happens there is because of the 10-hour turnaround, you start later and later every day in the week until Friday. You're starting at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon and you're finishing at like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then Saturday you're spending your day sleeping, and then Sunday you're going to bed early because you have to wake up to go to work again at like 7 a.m. So you don't really have a life when you're working in film while you're on a show.
Yeah.
And I did that for like 2 years straight where I was just like show to show. And so I was burnt out. And then so I was like, I'm taking a year off. We moved to Montreal. And I was like, I'm going to look for something else to do that could potentially be like, work or just something fun. And that's when I started streaming and really enjoyed that. Then I moved back to Toronto after, my girlfriend was done doing her master's for the year and was in film a little bit again and streaming. And I was like, this is a lot to juggle.
Of course.
And then she decided she wanted to do her PhD. So we actually just moved back to Montreal in August. And now I got a new job testing video games, which is really
shit
fun. So yeah, so I lucked out there because I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do in Montreal. My French is really, really bad, and I was just applying to places online, and I knew there was like a gaming industry here.
Question.
So I applied. So I'm just doing like quality assurance, but yeah,
So is it a game or is it a company you're able to say, or are you under an NDA?
I can say the company. I think I just can't say what project I'm on.
Of course,
if that makes sense.
Right,
yeah.
You're not able to say the games, but if I were to assume, it's Ubisoft.
Well, so here's the thing. So I work for an outsourcing company.
Oh, okay.
So the game companies actually outsource to the company that I work
Oh,
for.
that's cool.
And then um yeah, we get put on like whatever. So we get put on a project and then we can bounce between projects depending on what
Yeah.
it is. So so the company that I'm working for, like they do like Riot and Ubisoft and like all
So they do
those.
everything.
So yeah, so like
That's
I know
crazy.
like yeah, so there's some big projects that are out there for sure. But I'm mostly testing in VR these days.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's kind of all I can say.
No,
But
that's fair. That's fair. I mean,
but
hey, if a
yeah.
position opens up, let me know
If you move to
because
Montreal, hit me up and
oh, is it in
I'll hook
person?
you up. It's not in person, it's work from home, but you have to be
In the state or in
yeah,
the
in the
province?
province, yeah, because they
Fuck.
ship you the gear. So like in that corner over there, I have my work set up,
Yeah.
which is like they sent me like a work computer and all the stuff for it. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
Okay. Good to
yeah.
know. Good to know. I mean, I might just go visit just to, shoot the shit and hang out.
Yeah,
Because
if you come visit, hit me up. We'll grab a drink or something.
fucking bet. But
But
with the film and TV, because that was the first thing I really wanted to talk about. If you've been in
yeah.
that industry for so long, and you said it was like taxing when it came to timing and shit like that,
Mhm.
I feel like there's a couple questions you almost always get asked. What was the biggest TV show you worked on, and who were some of the famous people you met?
Okay. I mean, it's always like depending on the person, right? Because some people will like go crazy for like different people.
Of course.
I think like the biggest TV show I worked on was I worked on season 1 of Umbrella Academy,
Okay.
which is I know because it's really big on Netflix. But
Mhm.
then I also worked on 2 seasons of Star Trek Discovery.
Oh shit.
Which
Okay.
that was my favorite one. But I feel like you say Umbrella Academy, people usually are a bit more interested than if you say Star Trek, where like a lot of people are not watching Star Trek Discovery these days. And Discovery didn't have like the best reception. It was kind of mixed with the fans,
Mhm.
but I loved working on Star Trek. And then like and then I also worked on Saw movie. The one movie I didn't work on a lot of movies. I did mostly TV, but the one like big movie I worked on was like Saw 10.
Saw 10's
I
not
think.
out yet, unless
No,
you worked on the most
Saw.
recent one.
I worked on Jigsaw. Which one was
Oh
Jigsaw?
yeah.
Yeah, that's the one where they're like in the barn and there's
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, that's the one I worked on. So
I know what one you're talking about, but I'm not a big fan of like
Yeah.
horror movies and stuff like that, or psychological based movies like that.
Yeah.
But no, I know what one you're talking about, but that's insane. And you were
Yes.
doing like a lot of the visual effects kind of thing, like on the
on-set special effects.
Yeah.
So for Saw it was really fun because we were doing all the traps. So we made like all the traps and we're like operating the traps. So like in the Jigsaw one, there's like this the movie starts and they have like these buckets on their head.
Yep.
And they're being pulled towards this like spinning
Yep.
wall of saw. So we had so there were like days and days where we just were pulling these plastic chains around their necks towards the wall. And then we're on top of the set with like these like a DeWalt drill gun, just like, and they would hook up to the saw blades and it would cause them to spin. So so yeah, there's a lot of that and a lot of
holy shit,
a lot of pouring grain on that one. So I think Jigsaw like gave me like allergies or hay fever because we were in a studio for it. Like we were in an actual barn.
Yeah.
We're in a sound stage and like we were pouring so much grain and the air quality got so bad that like by the end, like everyone was like wearing like dust masks.
Oh, I believe it.
And because also they brought in all this straw and hay to dress the set, and everyone's walking around and kicking it up everywhere. So they had an extractor fan going and just this like dark cloud. You'd go outside of the studio and you just see the air it was pumping out. And it was just this constant like cloud of shit. It was awful.
And that was in Toronto, right?
Yeah, that was out of like Kipling. It was at
Kipling and what?
Kipling and oh god, because the shop I used to work at was at Kipling and Horner. But
Horner near the Canpar in the prison?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's where
brother, I worked at Canpar.
Did you? Yeah. So I didn't. It was like right. Do you know? It was the shop that I worked at was on Bellevia.
Oh yeah.
That's
insane.
Yeah,
bro, small fucking world.
Yeah, or one of the shops because I was kind of technically freelance. So
and how long ago was that? Because I worked at Canpar in like 2020.
I would have been. I would have been there 2020. I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so.
Holy
I would have been
fuck.
I think that would have been when we were doing Saw actually.
That's crazy.
I think, if my timing is right.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I was taking the 44 right to get to fucking New Toronto
yeah,
Street where the
yeah,
or that one what's it called, the place where the hockey plays. It's not like a big
yeah.
name one, but it was one sponsored by Maple Leafs, I believe.
Okay,
But
yeah, I
like
think
that,
I know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
that's where I would get off, and I would just walk over to Campar. Like my
Yeah,
buddy and I were working there.
all the film stuff are like, or a lot of the film stuff's right around there. Like,
That's I didn't know that.
yeah,
I mean,
it's
it
I
makes
think
sense based on the area.
yeah, like if you were to go up Kipling,
Yeah.
there's like, was it 777 Kipling or whatever? It's like the big studio that's there.
Okay.
That's where we shot Umbrella Academy,
Oh
and
shit.
so yeah, they shot Umbrella Academy like 5 minutes north of where he worked.
Yeah, you can say anything on Kipling because I've been around Kipling a lot of my life. So
Yeah, it's
that's
777 Kipling is the studio.
yeah.
That's the
I'm pretty sure that's south of Bloor.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, south of Bloor. Yeah, north of Queensway.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're north of like the Cineplex
Yeah,
and
anyone
everything
who
there.
doesn't live in Toronto is
And
gonna be
they're
like,
just like, what the
are you
fuck's going on?
talking
But
about?"
for the
Yeah,
two or three people that know where I'm
They'd be like,
talking
"Oh," they'd be
about,
like, yup, okay,
yeah, I know
yep.
exactly where it is. I can picture it.
Yeah,
And Timmy's is just up the road.
yeah, right by the Timmy's there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just oh yeah, but okay, yeah, yeah. But to go back to answer your question, like the like most like celebrity people I worked with,
Well, of course, you had a couple from Jigsaw.
yeah, I guess Tobin Bell was on Jigsaw, so
Yeah.
him, and then but like Star Trek, we had Michelle Yeoh, who's popping off now, who did Everything Ever All at Once, and like she was in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon and stuff. Sneak with Martin Green, who was on The Walking Dead. Then Doug Jones, who does all of like he's a famous creature actor. So if you like Pan's Labyrinth and stuff, that was Doug Jones, like the pale man with the eyeballs in his hands. And yeah, so those guys. And then, Umbrella Academy, you have like Elliot Page, Robert Sheehan from Misfits, and who else is in that show?
I don't know. I've never watched it.
There's a lot of people. There's people people from everywhere.
Oh
so.
yeah, like one of the names
Yeah.
you say as somebody's gonna know, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So,
awesome though. Now,
yeah.
final question, because you kind of said exactly what you do, so this is me thinking how everything works there.
Mhm.
What was your favorite effect to create? Because I feel like you might have had a little bit of an impact with how long, like your longevity in the business. You might have been able to come up with ways to alter an effect or alter a trap, for example. What was like your favorite effect to work on?
This is gonna sound really lame, but so I
Rain.
mean, obviously the ones that were the most. No, it's even worse than that. You're gonna be like, really? But obviously the most fun ones that are always a good time to work on. Like anytime you need to blow something up,
Of course.
those are always like the most exciting. But the one that I probably have my hand in the most is doors. The doors on Star Trek.
Oh shit.
Because the Star Trek Discovery was the first Star Trek to have automatic doors, in the sense that the doors were actually like automated and on motors. So before, it would always be a guy or a technician, like a guy or a girl, like pulling like cables to open the doors. But the company Laird Effects that I worked for, they had the guys in the shop are really talented, and they came up with a way of like having these like motorized doors. So you would sit there and you'd have a little camera and you'd be watching, and then you'd have somebody over the walkie, and they'd be watching on set. And then when somebody walked towards the door, they go, door. And then you press the button and the door goes shwow and opens up. And then they go in and you go door. And then you make sure it's clear and then they close it. But like the thing was like, there were like, before I got on the show, because I got on season 2, there were like a couple like close calls with the door where they had to like put in safeties, and so they hired specifically me to operate the doors, because at the time when I was on Star Trek, I wasn't a union member.
Okay.
So I was a permit, but they liked me from the work that I did at Umbrella Academy. So they asked me to like, hey, can you come on Star Trek? We have this position like for a full time on the show, because before on Umbrella, I was like part-time. Like I was there like every day, but I was a daily technically, so I wasn't like on the show. Whereas like Star Trek, I got a show call, so I had to be there every day. But then that was my official title, was door technician, which is like I was just a general special effects technician, but I was the door guy because that was the job that they hired me for, was to make sure that they had somebody consistent who knew how the doors worked to operate them safely, because you would get dailies going on who didn't know how the doors worked. So I spent a lot of time on that show, like checking to make sure the doors were safe and pushing a button and sitting there and doing other stuff too, especially season 3. Season 3, I was kind of running the floor a decent amount and doing some other stuff, but yeah, the door was probably where I had the biggest
impact.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Definitely like a super easy effect to do, just like one of those.
With good pay, I'm assuming too.
The thing about film is it pays incredibly well.
Oh yeah, and also like with it being unionized, you're good. You're fucking good.
Yeah, it was nice. Now I'm poor, but back in the day.
Hey, listen, go back to pushing buttons, man.
I could. If I move back to Toronto, it's always there for me,
Is it just something that you would contact them and be like, yeah, we got you back in?
Yeah, I just actually got rid of my union membership because I was paying it for no reason, because you don't even get the benefits anymore unless you're working. But I have a thing where I can just be like, hey, I was in the union, and then they just put my name to a thing, and they're like, yeah, he's back in. But
that's pretty good, at least. So at least you have that. You have that thing to fall back on, just in case.
Yeah, and now I'm pushing buttons and just pushing a different kind of button.
There you go.
Now I'm pushing video game buttons instead of.
You went from door buttons to video game buttons.
Really good at pushing buttons, apparently. That's my strong suit.
Yeah,
so.
You're pushing people's buttons at Twitch, and I'm kidding.
That too, yeah, aggravating people,
Yeah, pissed me off at Sorry Con. No, I'm kidding.
That's right. They call me the scumbag, or they did call me the scumbag.
I'm pretty sure people still call you a scumbag.
Good.
Your legends gotta live on. But I found out something funny while doing research for this podcast. Out of all 366 days you could have started on, because you started on a leap year, you started on my birthday. December 10th.
It was all for you.
All for me. December 10th, 2020 was the original start of the TheDugnutt on Twitch.
You do your research, which is nice. Like, I'm glad it's because I didn't even know that. I knew I started in December. I just didn't know.
You celebrated your 1-year anniversary like on the 10th.
Did I? Yeah.
Yeah, you were spot on.
Yeah, and then I think later I just said fuck it, and I did it.
Just fuck. It's sometime in December.
Yeah, I was like, because it was weird, because my first stream ever was December 10th, I guess.
Yeah, but you were playing Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I was playing Cyberpunk. I didn't have a camera. Didn't really know what I was doing. I just kind of hit go live. I had like one viewer, as you do.
Yep.
And I was just kind of figuring it out, which I think is the best way to start.
Oh, by all means, yeah.
Is to like start streaming to nobody, not for the sake of like, because you need to, you got to go through the motions, but just because you get to the practice of talking to nobody, you know, and streaming to nobody, so that you can do it. Because, but yeah, December 10th was my first one, and I think I took like a couple weeks off where I didn't stream.
Yep. And then in January,
New Year, I was like, this is my thing now. I did the 10th as like a practice run, and then January I was like 4 days a week, and I don't think I missed. There were very few weeks where
you did not really miss anything. Going through everything, you were consistent like a Tuesday to Saturday.
Yeah, which is important, I think, streaming.
Very much so. As somebody who started at 7 days a week, and then dropped down to 5, consistency is very big, especially when you're starting, because when I dropped down to that 5 days a week, viewership tanked. But at the end of the day, I knew that was going to happen. 7 days a week
is also crazy.
I did that for 2 years.
See, I was wondering this, like, when I streamed, I was always going over it as like, okay, so like consistency is important, but like how much is too much and how little is too little, Yeah.
And I feel like sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that there's that FOMO, right?
Yeah.
Where like some people don't want to miss out on stuff, but if you're live 7 days a week, it's almost impossible to miss out on stuff, right? So there's that nice balance of like, okay, I'm going to stream 3 days a week, and those 3 days, like everyone can make it, right?
Yeah.
Or they'll try and make it, because like 3 days I can set aside, right? Whereas like if it's 7 days, they're like, well, I'm gonna miss it, and then eventually they start missing more, and then they just stop showing up, right? That was what I always thought it was gonna be.
And that's how it was a little bit too, I will say.
Yeah.
But then like you have the people around us, like let's say Capri, for example, who does stream like 3 days a week, and it works for him. But before he was streaming like 5 to 6 days a week. because he was the most recent guest on the podcast, and
Oh,
we
cool.
we were talking about that history with him as well. And it's amazing to see where you start at and compared to like where you are now or where you finish. And for
Yeah.
him, he started as a fucking Warzone stream, and I still have the photo here. But like that was his
Yeah.
original logo, and now we know him.
That is a great logo.
It
It
is
is a
great.
really good logo. Yeah.
But like now we know him for everything else that he's doing and all these big events that he's putting on. Just to name somebody who, hey, if you guys haven't seen the podcast with Capri, go check out the YouTube and the Spotify. But
Yeah. Capri's great. He's also just a good dude. I
he
think
is.
like Capri's interesting because I think he, when he kind of popped off with the like he did the neck stop streamer
Yeah,
thing, and then
hover.
he had the whole hover thing.
Yeah.
And like he got people were shitting on him from hover, and like he kind of leaned into the edgy thing like as a joke, right? Like
Yep.
he had his he kind of had like a stream persona, which I don't think he really has anymore now. I think the Capri get on stream is kind of just Capri as he is, but like before he would kind of like play it up a little bit.
He'd bump it up a notch or two.
Yeah, and so, but he's just a really nice guy, really humble, really just like just a good dude. He gets it because he's been on the space for so long.
Yeah,
well.
he's
And
been
his
around
brother
it for
as
a
well.
long time.
And
Yeah,
yeah, like he just knows what it's like and is pretty good at just keeping
not only his
level
brother
head.
too, like Eli's been his like family since very, very young, like actual family.
Yeah, are they related?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. How do you know they were related?
Research.
Yeah, that's
brother.
Why you do the research.
Brother, Food Beast started back in uni and it's been around for a decade.
That's cool. I didn't know. I had no idea what Food Beast was until I started streaming. So.
And it's insane to see kind of who you know in the space half the time, and the people that you meet along the way as well. But with you starting almost 3 years ago, yeah, you got to meet other streamers, but there's something in particular that you got to create, and that was a community. Right, as all of us streamers do, we get to make we make amazing memories with the community. Now, majority of this podcast is going to be reminiscing on the moments that you've had with your community, and I've reached out to a couple people. I wanted to see what their inputs were on their favorite moments.
Oh no!
But I want to know, based on moments with your community, from trying to call it the community jack-off session with Jackbox to everything else that you've done.
Did we do that?
You wanted to call it that, but apparently your HR team told you it was a bad idea.
Sure, let's say yes.
That was a tweet.
Was it really?
That was a tweet from you. So I wanted to call it tonight's community night, community jack-off, but I got told it wasn't a good idea.
That's a good tweet though. It's a good tweet.
Tell me your favorite moments that you have created with your community.
That's really funny. I don't know. I've really had a lot of like, I mean, I put a lot of emphasis on community engagement for my streams because as a viewer, that's what I like.
Of course.
I like interacting with the stream. So I tried to put that in. I mean, I did a lot of really fun stuff that I like. I mean, I took a page out of Shaq's book and we did like a live reading of the Shrek script. But I like really produced it. So I had like scenes and like animated things with my stream deck and I dressed up as Shrek and like everybody read a different role. So we did that. So that was fun. We did, I don't know, just so many stupid challenges, like that were good. But I mean, some of my favorites I did was like the last stream I did was the scavenger hunt-a-thon, which I think is like kind of one of my favorite ideas that I did, which is I just did I would use Google Earth and do a scavenger hunt. So people could, instead of doing a subathon, people could gift subs or bits. And it would add a random item that I would have to find on Google Earth, Street View, to the list. And so those were always really fun and went on for like, I think I did 3 of them in the end. And the last one went on for like 3 days, I think it was, which was really fun. You popped in for those.
I popped in. I did my sub. I did my due diligence, and then pretty much got robbed because it was such an easy item to find. It was like a guy in a yellow hat. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, that's the beauty of the scavenger hunt-a-thon is because it's all random. Like sometimes I get really fucked, and then sometimes the viewer gets fucked. So it's like always a roll. Like everyone's always excited to see what it's gonna be. But then like and then every hour I had one safety, which was every hour on the hour, I could reroll one item.
Okay.
So if I missed the reroll, if I wasn't paying attention, I would miss it. But
it had to be like right at like, let's say 8 p.m.
Yeah, but I had a really like, but I had it so that people could gift like X amount, and it would add they could add a custom
Yeah.
item if they wanted. So they could essentially like gift 5 subs and just add an hour if
Yeah.
they were really, But yeah, it was pretty fun. And there's some there we found I'm really good at like street view and
Which is
geography and
weird.
stuff now.
It's
Yeah,
very weird
yeah.
how you got so good at that, but honestly, understandable at the same
Yeah,
time.
it's funny because I'm not quite like GeoGuessr level, but it's funny because by the end of the third scavenger huntathon,
Yeah.
we would get like a thing, and I would just know like, okay, if I just go to this specific dollar store, I can find X, Y,
Yeah.
and Z, and like always would be like, oh yeah, a dildo, I know where that is, or I think Scootish made me find a douche one time, and we were like, oh yeah, I know a douche is now on Street View. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yep.
like, yeah.
Just as you go, you get different like spots that you just remember have this, that, and the other. Yep.
Yeah, but
Now,
those are my favorite. But like if you ask my community, they'd say the game show that I did, which was like the DMCA Strikeout game show. Which
I don't even have that one listed, surprisingly. I got a couple more personal ones, and I want to start off with
No?
one of them
That's
because of a
nice,
certain
yeah.
message in chat that says you look
Yeah.
like Charlie Puth. Because this is the first one I can relate to. Your community likes to say you look like every single default white dude known to man.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
And
That's
they
what I
gave me a
always
photo
say.
to resemble you two, so it's pretty
It's
good.
a thing- yeah, who gave you that one? I
I'm
want to
not.
know. Who
I'm
gave you
not
that.
gonna rat on anybody who called you smelly.
I don't even know who that is.
That's
in the
you, right in the
picture.
middle.
Is
it not?
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not me. Did you actually think that was
That's
me?
you.
No, that's not me.
That's 100% you.
It's funny though because like before I started streaming, I never got like you look like this person or you never. But it's weird how much like I actually get that people come in and they're like, I thought that was Charlie Puth, to the point where like I think people are memeing on me now. Where like they come in and I'm like, I think they're just fucking with me.
Oh,
But
when I say I can relate to that, I just need you to understand that my chat calls me a preset character, and I haven't recovered from it since.
Yeah, I know. It's like really like I would get when I was doing like the hover stuff, I would get Ludwig a lot, and I was like, just because I'm like a white dude with like swoopy hair,
Yep.
So
And
I'll take the Charlie Puth though. He's
I
a
get called
good-looking
typical
guy.
gamer. If you want to
Yeah.
resemble another
Typical
creator,
gamer,
I get
yeah,
called
yeah,
typical.
yeah.
I got called the
Yeah.
Walmart version of typical creator or a typical gamer
Yeah.
on a fucking YouTube short, and I'm like,
Yeah.
but just
Come
bring it to the
on.
Twitch chat instead. Give me activity. Don't give me a fucking random ass comment on a Fortnite YouTube short saying I
Yeah.
look like typical gamer. And I literally had to say, who the fuck is TG? But thanks, because they
Yeah,
just
I know.
abbreviated it. And somebody goes, typical gamer, you uncultured swine. I'm like,
And it's
thanks.
also funny too, like I don't know about you, but it's like the one thing on Twitch is you want to like stand out in your own way,
Yep.
So it's kind of bad when like somebody says, "Oh, you're like this person." It's like I like it's like it's always like a compliment. Like when
Yeah.
everyone was like if people were ever like, "Oh yeah, your content is kind of like this or that," I'd be like, "Yeah, like that's a compliment or that's where I take
Yeah.
inspiration." So like, but like if people are like, "Oh, this is just this," then you're like, "Okay, try to do my own thing."
You're literally
But-
just wish Charlie Puth.
yeah, which is true. I am. I'm less talented.
Not wish.
Yeah, I would say.
Maybe like AliExpress, not wish.
Okay,
though.
yeah, that's fair. Okay, I'll take it. Hey, I'll take it.
Listen, I gotta throw a little jab in here because, to be honest, I'm gonna have my entire dignity and like ego ruined because it's a little shameless self plug. But in a month, during my anniversary in September, I have to do the roast of Trolleyzz that has been sitting for almost 2 years.
Yeah, why has it been sitting for so long?
It was supposed to be last year's April Fool's thing, and I canceled it because I did not want to do it.
Do you have people who are just like lined up to write jokes? Like who's coming on to roast you?
A couple of my mods. I'm gonna have a couple of my IRL friends that have known me for a long ass time. I want to get a couple stand-up comedians, like Game Pass or Mayor Wirtz. I want to get people that are just gonna hit me with a fucking haymaker that you wouldn't expect, kind of thing.
I always liked getting roasted on stream. Like sometimes
Are you a masochist?
No, but like it's nice because like sometimes on Twitch it's like whether you're the streamer or not, whether you want it, whether you're a streamer or not, whether you want it to be or not, you're the streamer and you're kind of like the focus, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes it's nice to like even out the playing field a little bit to like like as long as they're not like if they're poking fun at you, it's fine. Sometimes they go for like personal attacks, like I think anything against your physical appearance, like wish Charlie Puth is fine. That's a funny roast. But like if somebody was like commented on like a physical feature, something that like I have no control over, that's kind of like a low blow. But like I think
I'm
like
fully expecting it from my IRL friends. They're gonna hit me like with low blow after low blow, and that's why I want them to be a part of it because it'll be fucking hilarious. And to be honest, I can take it. Anything that they're gonna say, they've probably said 5 times to me already because they're IRL friends.
And
But
they're reaching anyway. They're like looking for something.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I call
hit
any
you
single
with.
like I call any single like really skinny guy just like you built like a Men in Black stick bug.
I
Like
like that. Yeah, I hadn't heard that before. I thought that was funny. I got
that
a good laugh
that
out of
I
that.
literally just overuse that line like a motherfucker, but
Yeah.
it works.
I am built like that. I don't have nearly as much coffee though.
Hey guys, how's it going here? But yeah, I'm scared of the roast, and I the offer and invitation is for anybody who thinks that they can roast me. You're more than welcome to like message me, DM me, and if I feel like you're gonna be a good fit for it, I'll squeeze you in. Because realistically, I want to have like 20 people on it.
I'm so bad at roasting because I'm always afraid I'm gonna go too far. You know,
Yep.
I'm always like, I don't want to say something that's like actually hurtful by accident.
I want the people that don't care about that. I want them to hit me hard.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I also like I know that some people might come up with the same kind of thing, so that's why I want to have like 20 people because if your script gets stolen and you got to go a cappella, that's gonna be hilarious. And
yeah,
I have confirmed I do officially have prizes for the top 3, so it's gonna be.
How do you just like chat vote on the top 3?
I'm gonna have chat vote on the top 3, yeah.
Nice. That's
or
fun.
top 4 or something like that. I might have like different fucking brackets. Like every 5, you gotta vote one person out of the 5, and they're gonna win a prize kind of thing. I'll just randomize the brackets. That
September
way,
10th, you said?
It's gonna be December 10th is my birthday.
December 10th is your birthday. Well,
That's
I said
my
September
birthday.
10th, but I was getting the 10th and the 10th.
You're close though.
Yeah.
September 22nd.
22nd. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
September 22nd. My anniversary is the 25th, but because of Baba House and because of it being a tipathon for my anniversary, like I do, it's gonna be a 72-hour cap.
Are you guys still Baba House? Like,
yeah,
because Steve
Baba
was
House.
Steve.
Yep.
Steve. Yeah, Steve messaged me about it, and like months ago. And I don't think I don't know if you guys change your plans or whatever, because I can't do it anymore. But
we're still doing
I don't know.
it.
Are you still doing it in the same place that you was talking about before and like all that stuff?
Potentially, yes.
Potentially.
Cool. That'd be fun. About an hour and a half north of Toronto.
Yeah, I saw the place. He sent me the place he was looking at.
Yeah, if he sent it to you a few months ago, it's the same place.
Yeah, that's sick. That'd be really fun. Yeah.
Mwah. Beautiful
really cool.
place. And there's
I don't know what he's announced, so I don't want to say
18
anything.
streamers.
18?
Yeah, I think I've talked about it the most on streams.
That's probably why I haven't heard about it, because I think I was originally going to come out and just well, no, because I was originally going to come out and just help out with like he wanted me to help out with video
production
stuff because of my film background. Yeah. But I was like, hey, I can't really afford to like miss work and go out and do it. Of course. So yeah,
no, we have like a whole production team and everything too. We have we just got approved for 16 lab mics to be rented.
Yeah,
shit like that. Crazy. Apparently, we're gonna have like $50,000 in equiment.
Jesus,
yeah,
that'd be crazy.
It's gonna be a lot, man. It's crazy, and just like the ideas that we're spitballing left, right, and center. I keep preaching mine because I want mine to be the #1 idea. It's Silent Library.
That'll be fun. I've only seen Silent Library like once or twice.
But you know the concept of it.
Yeah, I know the concept. Yeah.
So imagine 6 degenerates I have on Silent Library. Everybody else being background actors. I'm just gonna be that straight stone cold faced host. And we're going to turn the gain up a little bit just so it can be like, and you hear it.
You hear the grunts and the pain.
It's going to be fantastic.
Or whatever it is you do.
I'm genuinely hoping that like for something like that too, I can have a prize for or something for the people that are involved. At the end of the day, we're all doing it for content. I'm going to be the guinea pig and somebody else's. I mean, one of the goals I'm probably going to have during my anniversary is be a maid for like half a day during Baba House. Go dress up in the maid outfit and everything. Yeah. Like while we're all doing live content, I'll just randomly appear in the background to do something. Like it'll be the most random background actor.
Just randomly show up with a dustpan and a mop or a broom and just start sweeping.
Yep, just in the background.
It's awesome.
But we've been about the halfway point for this podcast, and I always like to do a little 20 rapid fire questions. Nothing streaming related, more just get to know you, get to know where you're at, like mentally, your favorite answers to a couple things.
For those of you who are listening and not watching, I'm airboxing right now. I love Rocky.
And
to
if you
show
do
how
miss
ready
the
I am.
if you do miss the photos that pop up on the screen, make sure to check out the YouTube VOD of the YouTube video of this that drops on Monday, just like the Spotify.
Oh, there's photos. Okay, I'm ready.
I mean, I popped up the first one, but there's only one other one that I have. Don't worry. Usually, for some others, I have like 6, 8, 10 photos, but this time I couldn't get many. A lot of them were
Good.
your thumbnail faces. I'm just like,
I'm elusive.
everybody's seen those.
I hate making thumbnail face. I hated it posting. Anyway, okay, it doesn't matter. Let's rapid fire. I'm ready.
This first question is kind of funny because it's you. Who's your favorite actor or actress?
Who's my favorite actor or actress?
Yeah.
I mean, I like a Paul Rudd. You know,
Attaboy,
like it's
I
a safe answer. I don't know if I have a favorite. Like Paul Rudd is. I love Taika Waititi as well. Actually,
Okay.
like he's more of a director, but I do love Taika Waititi.
What is your current favorite song?
Oh, geez. Well, just favorite song in general. I really like Ballad of Hugo Chavez by the Arkells has been a favorite.
The How and a Who and a What now?
The Ballad of Hugo Chavez by the the Arkells, right? Canadian band.
I know R. Kelly, but I don't know Arkells.
I'll send it to you, and you
Please
can link it or whatever. Yeah.
What chore do you?
They're kind of like the Canadian, like they're like up there with like not Nickelback, but they're a well-known Canadian band anyway.
Okay. What chore do you hate doing the most?
Chore? Folding laundry or putting away dishes.
Those are simple compared to doing them.
Yeah, I don't mind doing them, weirdly enough, but it's like they're so simple to just put them away that it just
I hate
feels
putting
like
away
a waste
laundry,
of time.
so I get it.
Yeah, putting away laundry is the worst, I think. Probably that one.
First thing you do if you buy first thing you'd buy if you won the lottery.
Probably I'd buy like a nice trip for myself, like just a crazy trip. Like just book a wild trip somewhere. Probably New Zealand again.
How many pairs of shoes do you currently own?
2.
Okay.
3.
Oh,
3.
He's got the slippers.
3,
what
4.
super?
Oh, 5. Okay, 5.
What superpower do you wish you had?
This is a weird one. I read this book series called Stormlight Archive, and there's this power.
Oh, that's
to,
crazy.
like,
It's almost like I knew that.
Yeah, and oh god, okay. But they have the power. There's this power where they can control friction. I think that'd be pretty cool. Like slide around and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the glass half full or half empty?
Half full.
Who is your this one kind of doesn't make sense. Who's your dream stream guest? Your
Dream
retired
stream
streamer.
guest? I don't know actually. That's
Who was
tough.
back in the day, and it doesn't have to be another creator.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, can I come back to that one?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
Or you could just skip it. What is the last thing you ate?
Burrito. I had a burrito for dinner, which is my favorite food. So
favorite subject in school?
Music.
I mean, I couldn't tell by your background.
Yeah.
How many times do you open up your phone a day?
I don't really count. Probably like 6, maybe.
That's it?
Yeah, I don't go on my phone all that often anymore.
Dude,
unless I'm like what do you qualify as to open up your phone? Because like I'll use it for listening to music and stuff, but like
I've probably opened up my phone 6 times since this podcast has started because of notifications.
Yeah, I try. Lately, I've been trying to stay off my phone a lot. So yeah, I would say 6. Like
I respect it.
Yeah.
What was your first job?
First job.
Yep.
Oh, I worked at a talent agency as a receptionist. Right out of high school.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom had a friend who was a talent agent, and I needed a job, and so I was really bad at it, but I was a receptionist.
Who is the smartest person you know?
Smartest person I know?
Yeah. And you can say a specific like category.
Let's say my girlfriend.
Okay.
she's smart, and also that way it's just a safe answer. You know?
She's going for a PhD. It's a good answer.
She is going for a PhD. She is very smart, so yeah, let's go with her.
How would you rate your humor from 1 to 10?
I would say like an 8, but probably anyone else would be like a 6. You know, it's like it's very hit and miss.
It's just by the way you laughed, said 8.
Yeah, I would say I'm more like just goofy, and so it's easier to laugh along with me. But I don't think I'm actually funny.
If you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
See, now I just want to say like. I know because they're at the front of my mind, but like Paul Rudd or Taika Waititi, just because they'd be a good dinner guest. It'd be a great dinner.
Do you have any pet peeves?
I really don't like when people chew with their mouth open. And yeah, I would say that's probably the biggest one.
Okay. What is
Yeah.
the worst gift you've ever received?
Okay, this is really weird. So when I was little, I really liked like I mean I have some with it. Like there's these Star Wars Polly Pockets. Like I really
Okay.
like miniatures and dioramas. And so there are these like Star Wars Polly Pockets that were like Polly Pocket branded. But they were like, like cool Star Wars figures.
Yeah.
And they had the little set and you pop it open, the little head, you pop it open and there'd be a little character inside.
Yep.
And so my parents told my grandparents that I like Polly Pockets, and then they just got me just a full blown Barbie. And I remember that was like the most disappointed I've ever been, like getting a gift, because I was like 6 or something, right?
Yeah.
Like I was young, and like I wanted like something tiny in a diorama because I like the tiny diorama stuff. And I just getting a full blown Barbie, I was like, I don't know what to do with this.
Thanks,
And,
Grandma.
it's probably the worst gift. I'm a pretty easy person to gift for as well, so like generally like
Who is the most underrated content creator you know?
Underrated?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so hard because so many of my friends I feel like should just be way bigger. Let's go. It also feels like mildly insulting to be like this person's underrated because it kind of implies that they're like not doing great, or not.
No, it's
getting
just they
enough
haven't been
credit.
noticed yet.
I think Luna's hilarious. I
Luna
think
is.
Luna Borea is hilarious.
Yeah.
And doesn't get nearly as much traffic as she should be getting.
Agreed.
She's very funny.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Lord of the Rings: Fellowship of the Ring.
Anyways, in the final one, on a scale from 1 to 10, how good are you at trivia?
Depends on the trivia.
General knowledge.
6.
We'll test that at the end of this podcast when we hit you with
right.
15 questions.
Okay, huge.
To see how you do, and maybe you'll beat Luna in trivia. That's not
How'd
that hard
Luna
to do. But, let's see here really quick before we get into it.
I could beat Luna at trivia.
Luna did. Where is she? 9 out of 16, actually.
That's not bad. That's what, half? A little over half?
A little over half. I mean, as long as you beat Murdog, and he did 5.
I could probably beat Mur.
Everybody else, 7, 8, 9. Spooger hit 12.
Damn.
That's just this season, man. So we'll see. We'll see how you do.
You got a lot of good Canadian representation on this show.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate it.
But to get back into the favorite moments of your community, I got told... I only have one sentence for this note. I got told it would be best to hear this from the horse's mouth. Tell me about the glove in your head.
Oh, okay.
I want to hear everything.
This is a story. Okay, so when I was, let's say, did you ever do this? Like when you, like, I feel like I never know how old I am in my stories. So in my head, I'm always like, I'm either 6 or 8. You know? I never actually know how old I am. But so let's say I was like 8 years old for this.
Okay.
Maybe younger. But my parents used to have this cottage, or my parents' friends used to have this cottage up in Northern Ontario. And so sometimes we'd go there. And, play around on the docks, have a good time, watch Wallace and Gromit, good stuff. And so one day my brother and I were playing on the docks, and there's like this, so the way the dock was, it like kind of went out over the water. Yeah. But there was some rocks down below that were like not really wet or in the water. It was kind of like a rocky shore. Yeah. And so we would like scale the side of the dock like we're all cool doing Mission Impossible style. Yeah. Like, as you do when you're 8. And so one day they're bringing up the boat from the water. They're bringing up the canoe, and they're like, all right, everybody clear out of the way. We're bringing the boat up. And so me being cool little 8-year-old, I was like, don't worry, parents, I will get out of the way. And so I like go down the side of the dock to scale the thing. And I slip and hit my head on the rocks below and crack my head open. So my dad comes and picks me up and like, like he's like, he's fine. He takes me to the stairs, pulls his hand away, just covered in blood. He's like, he's not fine. So everyone's panicking. Okay. So they get me in this car, and they're like, we got to get him to a hospital. But we're in like middle of like buttfuck nowhere in Ontario. Like,
I had a trailer up in Minden Hills. So yeah, you could say Northern Ontario. I probably know the area.
Yeah. I don't even know. It's funny because I don't even know where it was. Like I just know it was like somewhere in the middle because I was so young, right? It's like you could like now I'd probably be like that's not that far out of nowhere. Yeah. But in my brain we're like north of Algonquin. Like oh god, yeah. Which is not true. We're probably in like Brampton or something, but
Northern Ontario.
I don't know. Anyway, but like you know what I mean. But so they're driving me to the hospital. They're having trouble finding a hospital. Anyway, they get to this small town, and there's this like really tiny doctor's office that we go into. It's got like one room.
Yep.
And they're like, okay, let's get him on the table. So they put me on this metal table, and they're like, all right, this is like a pretty small crack, and he's pretty young. So instead of stitching his head back together, we're just gonna glue it back together. They're like, we'll just glue it. So I'm like, yeah, totally. Like, don't have to get a needle stabbed in my head multiple times. Like, sure. And my parents are like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I'm like lying there. My mom's like holding my hand, and they're gluing my head. And all of a sudden, like, I feel a tug, and like the doctor's kind of like, and everyone's like, and the nurse is like, and they just kind of start whispering to each other. And then they're like, so we had a little bit of a snag. Nurse's glove, the tip of the glove is stuck in your son's head. So we're just gonna cut the tip off and just seal it up. Like, it's fine. We're just gonna do that. So that's basically what they did. They just like took her hand out of the glove, put a new glove on, took some scissors, cut it, and then finished gluing it. Patted me on the butt, gave me a lollipop, and sent me on my way. So I don't know, like, to what extent there's a glove in my head. It might not be there at all. It might have biodegraded. It might have not even been that deep, but
Yeah,
there's probably like maybe a little bit. Yeah.
Listen, your DNA is composed of like 0.00001% rubber at this point.
Yeah, just the tip
or
of the
latex.
glove. Just
Yep,
the tip.
just
Yeah.
the tip.
Just the tip.
But
that's the glove story.
fucked.
Yeah. That's the glove story. So I have a bit of a glove in my head.
That's you don't get to hear that often from somebody.
No,
That's a conversation starter. Hey, did you know I
Yeah,
had a glove in my head?
It's a good story. It's one of my best, which is, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Because if it's, it's like, I'm probably like a, to keep on my trend of being 6, it's probably a 6 on the excitement scale.
I will say, I feel like I could have topped it if your dad answered his DMs.
Oh, does he not answer his DMs? He doesn't go on Discord a whole lot.
Nope.
I don't think my dad has that much good dirt on me, though.
I messaged your dad because I got told who he was in the Discord, which, hey, by the way, that's pretty cool that you have your dad in your Discord. And like,
yeah, my dad was like a staple of my stream. He was there all the time. Yeah,
which is fucking awesome to think about.
Yeah.
Now,
but, hey, if he ever replies to you, though, I give you permission you can share whatever story.
I'm gonna just tweet it out.
Yeah, tweet it out. Do it. Yeah, go for it.
All right, I got a couple more here. One of my favorite things from your stream that I questioned at first, but then grew to love very quickly, was your Garfield.
Yeah, the Garfield. Should I get it?
You can if you want, for people that might be watching.
It's far away. I don't know. Hang on, I gotta take out my everything.
That's okay. Your Garfield is a staple in my mind when it comes to talking about Dugnut.
I think a lot of people have this Garfield.
You're the only person I know with it, and I want to get it.
Yeah, we got it online for like $20.
Yep.
I think.
I mean, I can tell it's $20.
He's so scuffed.
He's great
right there.
He's great. Now,
yeah, he is pretty good.
With it arguably being the best thing that came from your stream, give us this backstory on how he was born.
Okay. My friend Becca, who's Apothic Decay on Twitch, they were doing a stream one day, and I guess they were in like a maid costume, and I think they were doing a longer stream, and they looked really tired. So they were like, I was like, do you want me to come on and chat for like a little bit? And they're like, sure. So I threw on my maid outfit I had to try and like get their energy back up.
Yep.
And then I just decided to like really ham it up. And I don't know, I guess like somehow I ended up pretending to give birth to the Garfield. And yeah, there's a clip of it somewhere, but
I watched the whole clip quite a few times to get this screenshot here. I mean, totally obviously the screenshot's everywhere, man. It's everywhere.
Yeah. And he's my son, and I love him.
Now, I know this isn't the actual original backstory of the Garfield. Where did the Garfield come from? Like, you said you bought it off
my
of
love of Garfield or that Garfield?
I mean, if you have a love of Garfield, then that's probably where the whole thing started from.
I mean, weirdly enough, like, I loved Garfield as a kid. Like, I just, like, I don't know why. I just went through a Garfield phase where I just really liked the Saturday morning, like, comic vibe, I guess. Yeah. So, like, I would just, like, or Sunday, whatever day it was. I don't know. But, yeah. But I just liked those comic strips. And so I just liked Garfield. And then I think I was looking for stream games to play one time. And Garfield Kart Furious Racing was on sale for like $4. Yeah, and I convinced like everybody to buy it. and did a tournament, and then I just pretended like I was really good at it and really passionate about it, as you do.
Yep.
And then it just kind of became a thing that I was passionate about Garfield. And then we got the little Garfield plush, I think just on Amazon or something. It was
Yeah.
just like, yeah, it's just on Amazon or something like that. But
Now, like, one of the biggest things that I was questioning is with this Garfield, at one point was a massive staple of your stream. While you were still growing, what prevented you from making it some kind of your branding in comparison to what you've kept? Did you ever think about making it any kind of branding? Did you think about making it any kind of merch?
No, maybe merch, but like, I don't know. I never really did too much merch. I had merch at one point that my friend was doing, but we kind of stopped doing that because she had like a store, and then it just kind of became a lot to deal with. So, but yeah, no, like, I don't know. I kind of had pretty solid branding my entire time, just kind of like coincidentally, and it seemed kind of weird to like pivot my branding all of a sudden to something else. So, like, I don't know, people, and also I didn't want to become affiliated with like something that like wasn't me or I didn't have the rights to.
Yeah.
I was always kind of careful about that, just from like a business point of view. If like for some reason Stream ever did blow up, I didn't want my branding to be like, all of a sudden I had to pivot my entire brand because I didn't own the rights to something. So yeah, there's kind of that. But
I mean, if you can't tell by the name and the other stuff that's on my stream or whatever,
yeah,
I fully get that, because this is one of the easiest things to get sued over if it was ever any monetary value beside.
Is it really?
Yes.
See, I would think that was like fair.
Oh
use
no,
whatever,
the trademark to the trademark to the troll face as branding in any way, shape, or form as a direct copy and paste has made the owner millions of dollars. Yeah, I looked into this shit heavy when I started.
And you still chose to use it.
From the business standpoint. This is the only thing that actually has the official troll face, because it doesn't make me money right now.
Right,
but like,
so the moment it does,
the moment that the podcast makes me any kind of money, I have to remove it.
That's fine.
But like, I have my Troll Vegeta emote, which is the troll face on a Vegeta. That is safe use because it is like it's an artist's made thing as well.
Instead of using one copyrighted material,
I use two.
Yeah, so you're safe.
I mean, all my branding is Dragon Ball, but it's all like chibi style besides the Troll Vegeta.
Yeah, I saw that. I liked the sub badges, the little Dragon Ball sub badges.
Yeah, the Dragon Ball sub badges as well. The hairs are all like inspired by the characters, but
the Dragon Ball's the bit badges, and then
the bit badges are everything is hand drawn, everything is inspired, but not directly ripped from like Dragon Ball itself. Right, so it all falls under the fair use.
They're actually not Dragon Balls, they're Dragon Pancakes. They might look like a spear, but it's actually just a really shiny pancake.
I never want to look at my bit badge as a Dragon Pancake ever again in my life.
You're not
as I'm hovering over one right now. God damn it.
It's now a bit,
motherfucker.
Bit
it is a Dragon Ball. It is not a Dragon Pancake. This is a ball.
Dragon Pancakes. That's a Dragon Ball, but your bit badge is a Dragon Pancake.
Oh god, I might have to start making Dragon Pancakes now as a fucking sub goal or something.
You can do a cooking stream. Dragon Pancakes.
I did Dragon Ball Jello. It didn't work at all.
What was it like? You'd make like they're Dragon Balls, but like Jello.
I tried to, but they just ended up, instead of being a ball, it turned into a half sphere, and it all mushed together inside the mold. So
yeah, I was gonna say a Dragon Ball Jello shot or whatever would be like tough to do, like just a round Jello.
I want to run it back because like I just got a cheap rubber mold. But if I get like a better mold, like a full blown plastic one that doesn't have cracks in the seal, it'll be great.
Yeah,
I think it'll actually work. And then just biting into like a Jello Dragon Ball would be pretty cool. Treat it like Dragon Ball GT.
It would be cool. Yeah. Right, throw it at a wall and just explodes.
Okay, listen, I'm not gonna waste it like that, but maybe
it'd be cool.
It would be kind of funny. But the final story that I have here, I left it because I didn't get told if it was 100% true. It might only be made up. But if it is, I'd love if you built on it.
It depends who your source is. I'll just run with it even if it's false.
Tell me about the time you shit yourself at Disneyland.
So this is my brother's story. So it's not me, but I think I told this story and then everyone was like, yeah, your brother. And so I was like, yeah, my brother. But it was actually my brother. And it's a funny story.
Okay, tell me about the time your brother shit himself at Disneyland.
Yeah, my brother. Okay, so my brother, we went to Disney World. It was Disney We're in Florida and we were at the resort, and I guess the resort had like a boat you could take from it to I think we are going to MGM Studios, which
Yeah.
is like so so we're at the dock, and my brother's doing a little dance, and he's like, I gotta go to the bathroom, and we were with my aunt at the time, and she was like, can you wait, like we're like till we get to the park, like we're just on the ferry. He's like I just gotta go to the bathroom, and she's like, okay, well just like hold it for like 10 minutes or whatever. And then he just starts to cry, and she's like, what's wrong? He's just, I thought it was gonna be a fart. And so we we had to go back and change his pants and do
Change
the
your
whole
pants,
shebang.
yeah.
Yeah, change my pants, yeah. But that
I
was the
believe it.
story. It's like, it's all right. It's
Hey.
like it's no glove in the head, but it's got
It's no glove in the head, but it's something else in the pants.
Yeah. But
Yep.
sharding your pants at Disney World is a good story. Like, it's a good title for a story. Yeah.
I feel like you just gotta own up to it. You gotta actually treat that story as if it's your own and not blame it on your brother.
I'll take. I would, if it was mine, I would own that shit, because it's like
literally.
I would literally own that shit. But it is unfortunately my brother's. So next time I go to Disney World, though, I'll shit my pants.
Do it
like outright, and then I'll have the story, and I can claim it.
Just
It won't be a
sit there.
shard. It'll just be full on
In the middle of the fucking park, just look at everybody, eye contact, straight face, and just erupt.
It'll be me and Chip and Dale, and I'll be so excited that I'll have little
Chip and Dales coming at you.
little Chip and Dales coming out. I'll be
Jeez.
prairie dogging with the chipmunks.
Oh God! All right.
Yeah.
Let's get into the final topic. The things that if your viewers are here, if your viewers are listening, this is what they want to hear about the most. Let's talk about your retirement properly.
All right, my retirement.
Your retirement. You retired from streaming July 23rd, 2023, after your 3-day scavenger hunt-a-thon. Almost a month to the date. You've done some amazing things with your community, from showcasing your talents as a drummer, which blows my fucking mind of how good you are at it.
Thank you.
To being a pro gamer with countless playthroughs of single-player games in your early on stages of streaming. All the way.
Pro, but sorry, continue.
No. All the way to what I mentioned earlier, which you didn't believe me on, revolutionizing and reinventing the subathon.
Oh, thanks. I'll take that.
That's what I was referring to at the beginning.
Thank you.
With the subathon in Google Maps or Google Earth.
Gotta change it up, Gotta. Everyone's doing a subathon.
I asked you about your favorite moments with your community, but just as a streamer, what have been your top 3 favorite moments of all time, whether it's on your stream or somebody else's? What are the moments you look back on right now as a retired streamer and you're like, you know what? That was fun.
Okay. Well, one of them I played. I had never played like a game like Kerbal Space Program before I started streaming. And then I got into this, Nick W, right?
Yep.
Nick W.
Donut walled me.
Yeah, he challenged me one time to land a Kerbin, like little guy on the moon in one stream. So I had like 4 hours to do that, and if I did that, then Nick would eat Carolina Reaper.
Oh God.
So yeah, so I managed to do it. Nick was pretty generous with the time.
Yeah.
Like he kind of extended it because he's a good sport, but we did manage to do it in one stream, which is like quite a feat. Like it is really tough to do that. So, but we landed him on the moon, and then I kind of had this running bit where we never got him back. Like we just kind of left him on the moon. So then like months later, I did another stream where it was like a Martian themed stream. Like I themed it like the Martian, where we went and rescued Jeb off the moon.
Yep.
And the thing was like, I had I had as much time as I wanted to get him off, but then as soon as I could fail as many times getting there.
Yeah.
But then as soon as I loaded Jeb into the spacecraft and took off from the Mun or whatever it's called on Kerbal, I wasn't allowed to reset or like save scum at all. Like that was it. And if he made it back to orbit, cool. And if he died, he died. And so like it all hinged on that one moment. And going back in on re-entry, I fucked it up.
Oh no.
And I was supposed to start thrusting at like 70,000 meters, and I think I started doing it at 700,000. So yeah, I like added a 0, and so it was like bad. And like, and so we're coming in and we're just like praying that the heat shield like held, because at that point I should have exploded, but like none of us really knew the math, so we're like, I'm just gonna die, and we're just like kind of praying, and like somehow he didn't. he didn't explode on reentry and like landed successfully. But it
Holy
was just
shit.
like, yeah, but it was just like such a huge moment because like it was very cinematic where like it was like, you know, the final hour and it seemed like everything was good and then it seemed like everything was really bad.
Yep.
And then it just kind of turned out okay. It was just very like you could not like it felt scripted. Yeah, it like felt scripted. And that was any moment that I streamed where it felt scripted was always like really satisfying. And I was really like I somehow like always managed to like pull out some sort of scripted win. It felt like it was kind of like I don't know, and maybe that's just because I have a pretty good sense of narrative. Like I read a lot, and so like I can kind of see where something's going, like in terms of like if I'm going to be able to pull it off or not in the allotted time. So I can kind of build to like, you know, the suspense or like build a bit of a narrative. So it always felt like kind of satisfying. But that one was like felt like very unscripted even for me, and like was like, oh yeah, this is like this is really cool. Yeah, that was one of the most memorable. I mean, the scavenger huntathon, super. Those are always really, really fun for me.
Putting you on the spot, which one's your favorite out of the 3?
Out of the 3, well, okay, well, I think that was 2, but because there's the thing and then that thing. But we also on the I just if I'm doing 3,
I'll talk about it from the scavenger huntathons. Out of the 3, which one's your favorite?
Out of the 3, the third one. I think the third one was just really fun. It was long, but I like it was the end, and it was just really good.
Yeah.
And I had it down at that point where there's like no stress. It was just kind of doing it.
Yeah.
But finding 2 was also really fun. They were all really fun. It's just a fun format. Like if anyone wants to do it, like please go for it because it's a blast. Yeah, do it. It's really, really fun.
Listen, I have to do a content thief stream I've been sitting on for like 4 months as an old fucking thing.
I've been really like open about that. I was like, you know, I'm not streaming. Like if anyone liked any of my ideas, like, or if you're looking for ideas, literally go through like Twitch Track or whatever it is. You can see every stream I've ever done. Like see what sounds fun and do it. Cause like that's a good way to get content. Like, I mean, especially with me who's retired and never really blew up, you know, a lot of that's going to be original to a lot of people. So
I ain't giving you any credit. No, I'm kidding.
I don't care. But like, you know, but do it because it's fun. Like there are very few streams that I did where I was like, this sucked. So
yeah. All right. What's your final favorite memory? We talked about Jeb. We've talked about your scavenger huntathon.
I mean, like, there's just so many good moments. I made so many friends throughout streaming that like it's gotta be just moments with some of my friends, right? Like we did during the one subathon I did, we did like we played the Colonel Saunders dating game.
Yep.
At like 3 a.m. and we were all like really tired and delirious, and we were all voicing the characters, and that was just really fun because there's like a small group of us, but it was like very just like it felt like a sleepover, like just friends hanging over at a sleepover. That was really fun. Or just some of the crazy finds in the scavenger hunt. Like the scavenger hunts were just so fun, like, and they're very memorable. And the Jeb, like they're all good.
Dude,
moments.
I genuinely want to do that scavenger hunt so bad, but I want to put like my own twist on it. I just haven't figured out how I'm gonna do it yet.
Twist it, don't twist it. Just it's fun. You'll like it. Yeah.
Good to know.
Hit me up if you have any questions about it. Cause
y'all have heard y'all heard that first. Doug has given me the opportunity to do the scavenger huntathon, so maybe we do a little version of that during the anniversary stream or something, or maybe we make it our own stream. I ain't gonna do it as an uncapped thing. Fuck that, unless I'm actually bankrupt.
Don't cap. Or, make sure you have a cap. Make sure you have a cap.
I need a cap.
Because especially like I mean, depending on how you do it, because I did it where like every 100 bit, or I think the last one I did every 300 bits, add an item to the list.
300 bits or a sub.
Yeah, which is like a good thing.
Your first one was what? Every 100 bits.
Every 100 bits, yeah. And
psychopath.
But I had a cap. It was like not very long. It was like I think it was like 24 hours or something because I had work the next day. So it was like not that long. And the second one I had a 2-day cap, and then the third one I think was like a 3-day cap or something. So, but yeah.
I got one last question before we go into trivia. And usually this question for everybody else is, what's the future looking like for you as a streamer? But in your case, besides missing your community as the number one answer, what has been the hardest thing about this retirement?
It's weird because missing the community would be the answer, but I think like
I'm not giving you that cop out.
I know, so I gotta think about it. I think like I don't know, like it's hard because like you interact with your friends on a regular basis on Twitch all the time.
Yeah,
And now that I'm not streaming on Twitch, I'm just not on Twitch as much because I'm trying to step back a little
Naturally,
bit.
that happens.
So I think naturally, because I'm stepping back, I'm also not interacting with my friends as much as I'd like to, which has been really good for me mentally because I've been able to recharge my social battery a little bit.
Yeah.
But I do miss, like, there's some people who I'd love talking to who I haven't been able to talk to in a hot second. But then also, like, I've been able to talk with some friends who I've made on Twitch for like the first time in forever, just not talk about streaming and just like talk about normal things and be normal people, which has been really nice. Not that, you're not normal people, but like, it's so easy to just,
what you mean by
Twitch
that?
is, well, but when Twitch is what you're doing though, right?
Yeah.
It's like, that's what you want to talk about because it's what you're interested in.
Of course.
But now, because it's not really my interest at the moment, it's easy to talk about
other shit.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, like, because some people are like able to do that, and some people are like, Twitch.
Yeah.
Which I'm not talking about Twitch too. Like, I like talking about that too. But
I think one of the biggest things for me is just like, I, even around my friends who don't even really watch me that much, I do find myself talking about Twitch because they'll bring it up to be like, oh, what are you doing with it? Blah, blah, blah. It's just a natural point of discussion for like just conversations. But at the same time, I know how to like go away from it. I know how to deviate from it and just have conversations, let's say, about them and their life, because their life's completely different from mine right now.
Yeah.
Right. With me doing streaming and working pretty much full time as management at American Eagle, like, I got two sides of the coin when it comes to my life. But like, one of my other buddies who, let's say, works at Campar, or my other buddy who works at a movie theater, like, those are just all individual lives that have their own stories that are just fun to talk about and listen to. And that's something I've learned from the podcast. It's just like, yeah, you can talk about streaming, you can talk about all that other shit, but like, everybody does. So why not talk about the person the person you're talking to? Talk about them.
I that's what I love. Like, I love the format, and I think that's what's so great about a podcast is like, it's a nice excuse to sit down with like your friend or somebody you want to talk to and just like shoot the shit in an uninterrupted conversation for like an hour or two, right? Like,
exactly.
I kind of did that a little bit. I had the truck buddy streams I did where I would do the trucking, and like those are some of my favorite streams because you just sit and you're just chilling. It's like a road trip, right? And you're just chatting with your friends, and I love that. Like, I love this kind of shit where you can just sit down and talk, and I could talk for like 3 more hours, right?
Oh,
like, there's so much to talk about.
There's way too much, and like, I know you're on a bit of a time restraint, so like, I made sure not to over push it with how much I had for this podcast. But at the same time, I feel like it's a good amount. Like, I always want to keep it around like the hour and a half mark.
And I can always come on again too, right? You could always, if you want, if you're hurting for guests, you can always pull me back on.
I'm always hurting, but it ain't forgetting. I'm kidding. But I mean, hey, with this being just over 60 episodes long at this point, with 39 of them never being recorded, yeah, of course, there are some people that I do want to bring back on because it's been over 2 years. Like, hey, come back on. But then some people just, your story's not finished.
A lot changes in 2 years. Well, because how long have you been on Twitch for?
I've been on Twitch like 3, or if you count without affiliate, over 3 years.
Yeah,
but I count from affiliate because I hit it within like 3 weeks of actually trying.
Yeah,
September marks 3 years.
Nice.
Yeah,
sick.
So I've been on it a while, but been in the content space for a little bit longer, trying to do YouTube and shit like that. But yeah, other than that, like, everybody's story changes even within 3 to 6 months. Like, you never know what's gonna happen. Somebody could blow up on YouTube when they were a streamer 3 months ago.
Pandemics could hit.
Like, or pandemics could go away and fuck everyone over. You never know what happens.
That's right. Yeah, it's crazy, like, how much the pandemic space changed streaming, and then immediately how quickly it changed once the pandemic ended.
Yeah.
Like, I think like we're all expecting it to change after the pandemic, but
it all hit us really hard, and
it really changed it. Like, I think that was part of the reason why I stopped streaming. Like, it was tough all of a sudden seeing like people who you'd normally be there like 3 or 4 times a week, and you're all kind of hanging out together, and then all of a sudden the names would be like, yeah, I'm going out tonight, and it'd be like, I want to go out.
I want to go out. Yeah.
I don't want to be in your streaming. Like, I thought we were all I thought we were all hanging out, and now everyone's going out and doing their own. It's like, I want to go do stuff.
I want to go do shit and have fun with people.
Yeah, which is like I've always been a big proprietor of like, be like, have a life, Yeah. Like, as much as weirdly enough, like, if I'm streaming on Twitch, like, I kind of need you in order to be successful.
Yeah.
Like, go outside and do stuff. Like, cause in a way you're watching me having my life, right? And you got to kind of have your own life in a way. So
but at the end of the day, fucking watch me, idiots. Anyways,
watch Trolleyzz. Yeah.
Yeah. Doug's not retired. Come to me. No, I'm kidding.
Listen, if you watched me and had a Twitch Prime, This is the place.
There you
Drop
go.
it.
Hey, listen, you still got more concurrent subs than most people I know right now, and you've been
Do I?
retired.
They're dropping.
You got like
A lot of
22
people
subs still right now.
I got a lot of messages in Discord yesterday being like, "Damn, my sub runs out
Yep.
today." I'm like, "Hey," but you know, like some people might still want the emotes, but don't sub to me if you're not. Like, it's gonna be what, like
Sub to him for the emotes. He'll get his payout eventually.
yeah, if you want that. Is there a cap on the payouts now? I think they got rid of it, right?
I think it's like $50 now for us in Canada.
Yeah,
Which isn't that bad. Either way, we got one final thing to do here.
Let's do it.
Trivia.
I'm ready.
I got 15 questions with 1 bonus point to a question.
Okay.
3 of which are catered to you and your interests that I got told about by people that know you. But
I still really want to know who. Can you leak who you asked after the fact?
Of course I can.
Okay, great.
Because I really only got from 2 people. Because Nick don't know walled me. Your dad don't know walled me.
Classic.
But there's 2 people that you know. I'm gonna just give you the hint. Named after birds.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Got you probably know them both.
Did you just get both my mods?
Maybe.
Those are good people. Those are actually really good people to ask.
Really good people that helped me out a lot here. So big shout out to Sparrow and Raven. But
yeah,
I got 50
Raven
questions
I've known
here.
for forever. He's like a brother. I've known him for like forever. Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
How many stars are on the national flag of the US of A?
Oh, I feel like isn't it 51?
I take whatever answer you say first, by the way. So unless
I said 51. So
yeah.
It's
I will say
or 50, but I'm pretty sure it's 51. It's kind of like a trick.
The only thing I'll say is chat cannot help you. I forgot to put the rules in. Emote only on the chat. If you say I don't know if it's this or this, I will not accept that. But if you say I think it's this or it's this, that's the answer I'll take. You cannot pass a question either. So
the last chat thing I checked was Raven said I almost don't know walled him.
almost, but it's okay.
That's
so
awesome.
51's your answer. Which shape is commonly used for stop signs?
Wait, do I not even get to know if it's right or not?
I'll tell you at the end.
Okay, hang on.
Which shape is commonly used for stop signs?
An octagon.
What is the nickname for a baby goat?
A kid.
What is the sum of all the numbers on a roulette table?
I don't even know. The sum of all of them?
All of the numbers on a roulette table.
Let's just say 42.
It's crazy how like there's 36 and 35, but okay.
I don't know. I don't know roulette at all. I was maybe they go up to 9. I don't know.
What country was the beer Guinness invented?
I want to say Ireland.
If you were born on Valentine's Day, what is your star sign?
Capricorn?
What color is Santa Claus's belt?
It's black.
What is Forrest Gump's IQ?
Oh, that let's say 60.
What is banned in public places in Florida after 6 p.m. on a Thursday?
Banned in public places in Florida after 6 p.m. on a Thursday.
Yeah.
It's gonna be something really dumb. Let's say dancing. Let's say it's the plot of Footloose and it's dancing.
What do cows drink?
Dancing. Water.
Damn it. What actor is known for saying motherfucker in almost every single role?
Samuel L. Jackson.
What was the first video on YouTube to reach 1 billion views?
Was it Gangnam Style?
So remember, I know that one's not the next question. Sorry. What was the first horror movie to win an Oscar? And a bonus point if you could say what year it happened.
I don't know this one. I think it was The Exorcist in I don't know what year that would be. I think probably like 82.
What was the name of the special bond that allows you to emulate the powers of 10 legendary men and women in the Magic of the Stormlight Archive?
A Nahil bond. A Nahil bond? Nahil bond?
Where can people go to find your Twitch?
Twitch.tv/TheDugnutt. But if you go
The
there, there's
retired
a whole
link.
lot of nothing. Well, there's some VODs still up there. If you want to watch the Scavenger Hunt-a-thon, I think that's
It is
there.
still up. And we are done the trivia. Would you like to know how many you did, or you want to go one by one?
I kind of want to go one by one, but I think I got I think I beat Luna.
Okay. How many stars on the national flag of the US of A? It is 50. You already fucked up.
Damn it. Yeah, I fucked up. I was like, for some reason I thought it was 51.
Canadians are top 51. It seems
well, because
like
it's 50 states, but then I think the old flag used to have 51, and that's why. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but the old flag didn't used to have 50. I think is what it was. So that's why it's yeah.
What shape is commonly used for stop signs? Octagon. What is the nickname for a baby goat? A kid.
Nice.
This is where you went downhill. What is the sum of all the numbers on a roulette table? 666.
Yeah, no idea for that one. Yeah.
What country was the beer Guinness invented? It is Ireland.
Cool.
If you were born on Valentine's Day, what is your star sign? It's an Aquarius.
Oh, is it Aquarius? Well, I'm an Aquarius. That's bizarre.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because I'm right on the edge of being a Capricorn, I think is why. So I was thinking the other side.
Late January?
Yeah, I'm 23rd.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
If you were born on... Oh, sorry, no. What color is Santa Claus's belt? It is black.
Nice.
What is Forrest Gump's IQ? It is 75. You were actually close.
Yeah, I was pretty close. It's not bad.
You officially had the closest guess to this answer, and the moment somebody gets this right, I'm going to lose my mind. What is banned in public places in Florida after 6 p.m. on a Thursday? It's farting.
Is it farting?
It's farting. Okay. Yeah, it can get you a criminal charge.
Damn.
What do cows drink? I want you to say milk, but it's water.
Nah, I'm smarter than that.
What actor is known for saying motherfucker in almost every single role? Is Samuel L. Jackson.
That's pretty easy.
What was the first video to reach 1 billion views? Gangnam Style?
Nice. Okay.
Here we go. What was the first horror movie to win an Oscar? And a bonus point if you could say the year. It is The Silence of the Lamb.
Oh, is that a horror movie? I would say it's a thriller.
It is a horror movie under classifications of the Oscars that also walked away with 5 awards that year.
That's crazy.
Being one of the most successful movies of all time based on the Oscars.
Except for Lord of the Rings.
1992.
Did the Exorcist win an Oscar?
I don't believe so. At least not the original. And then
it was nominated for a lot.
Nominated.
Did it win?
I don't know.
I think it might have won.
I looked up movie trivia and like that's what popped up, and I was just like, all right, let me use this one.
It won the Academy Award for Best Writing.
What year?
In 1974.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So if you want to.
Was that an Oscar though?
It the Academy Award for Best Writing adapted.
Is an Academy Award an Oscar though?
The Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay is the Academy. I mean, yes, the Oscars are the Academy Awards.
That's crazy. So let me bump you up a point, because usually if you can prove my answer wrong, I'll give you a point.
Yeah, but it might not be the first one. So
I mean, if it's 1970, because The Silence of the Lamb was 92, so
it's before Silence of the Lambs, but there could have been something before. But
well, either way, I'll take it.
Okay.
What is the name of the special bond that allows you to emulate the powers of the 10 legendary men and women in the magic of the Stormlight Archive? You were wrong, actually.
What? No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
it'd be a Naho bomb, but they'd be the Knights Radiant.
You are right.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, when you mentioned I read this book, I'm like, yeah, I know that.
It's my favorite book series. Yeah.
And where can people go to find your Twitch? You beat Luna.
Yeah!
You would have tied if you didn't prove me wrong on one of the questions.
Eat shit. I'm smarter than you, nerd.
That's
even when I'm dead.
That is crazy. So with the Dugnut added to the list, and at 9 p.m. your cutoff time.
Perfect time. You killed it.
Put you as second place of this season on.
Let's go.
Our trivia.
Who's that behind Spook?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Overall, you're like 6th on all-time trivia.
I'll take it. Either I beat Luna or I tied Luna, and I can live with that.
Yeah, you beat Luna this time, which is probably a better accomplishment. But Doug, it's been amazing to have you on here.
Thanks for having me on.
For all we know, this is the last time you're going to be on a stream. I hope it's not, but
that's right. You never know. Each time could always be the last time. You know.
You never know.
And I highly doubt this will be the last time.
And that's why you got to tune into wherever Dugnut is going. And speaking of that, Dugnut, what is next for you in your IRL adventures?
Well, I booked a lot of overtime this week, so going to be doing that.
There you go. Get that
which
money.
I'm excited for. No, I'm working on a game actually. That's my new side hobby. Is I'm trying to make a game. So,
oh shit.
Yeah. So I'll probably convert my Twitter over at some point to that when that gets really going. But for now, I'm just learning and enjoying that and going outside and enjoying life and the weather.
There you go.
Trying to save to travel a little bit. So things are good.
Hey, listen, if you ever come down to see me or I come to see you, we'll have a beer.
Oh, heck yeah. If you're ever in Montreal, hit me up and I'll...
Easy. I've never been in Montreal yet, but I have passed it to go to Sorry. So...
There you go.
Let's see.
Yeah.
But, ladies and gentlemen, that has been the Troll Talk Podcast. Next time's guest, I have a couple in mind, but you're going to have to stay tuned to the socials to figure out who it's going to be. But other than that, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye!